Hi, this is Weekly Reflections, and I'm Nancy Joy. We are in the space now between the Super Equinox and the configuration we talked about, the trine with Jupiter, Mars, and Uranus opposite the Sun, all that's been going on. Now, this is kind of the in-between time as we're stepping into the October 8th lunar eclipse, October 23rd solar eclipse, and in that period, sandwiched in that period, lovely Mercury retrograde in Libra. So all this, as I found a great quote in by James Tybornne in a Metatron Channel that said, "The dark side is in a temporal free flow for a peculiar period of frequencial time to bring to the surface repressions and frustrations, whether justified or not, to be confronted, viewed, and dealt with, and as he says, within the crucible of human experience." And I like that because that's exactly what I feel is going on. And we've been talking about how the most ancient and deep things are surfacing, and sometimes they surface in a form we thought we'd already dealt with, but that's how core these are, how deep they are. And I forget, Saturn's in the mix there somewhere, and we know that's the Saturnian energy too. So remember last week I said expect the unexpected. Well, I've been getting lots of feedback from friends and clients of startling things that happen to shake them up. And you could look on the world platform, Eric Holder resigned and some other things happened, but that's just still the what do you call kind of illusion news. So just look at personal lives right now. And in my own life, I didn't even have to hear from a lot of them because in my own life, this was just such an amazing time. So last Sunday, I recorded my Super Equinox, get ready for a big shake-up or whatever I called it. And Sunday night, we had friends over, close couple friend of ours that we've done a lot on our spiritual journey with. And at the end of the evening, we were exploring some venues before they got ready to leave. And I'm not going to go into detail here because I don't really have permission to share the exact event. But let's suffice it to say, a huge incident occurred unexpectedly and a loud, tremendous bang. And it shattered one of our big front windows on our house facing east completely, just shattered. And we stood there stunned. We just stood there stunned. I mean, talk about unexpected, which that's how things happen, I guess. And after they left stunned, we didn't even have much to say. We talked a little bit, but that put us all inside of each individual self. And then over the next day as we talked, the main thing was that we each had a part in it, what happened. And it was a shattering of the lens through which we view the world. East facing the new reality rising, right? We can no longer look through that lens anymore. And so in that, then you can't look through the lens you're used to looking through. Things are going to change because you're going to be having to get used to a new lens, like a new pair of glasses or what have you. And so very soon after that happened, then by Tuesday, I had an event surface with two dear old friends. I call it a little triad of a pattern that I thought had long been gone. And it resurfaced, and it was very, very painful for me, and my ego took me on a tremendous emotional rampage, fortunately not at anyone, but having to express it myself. And I took a nap, and when I woke up from the nap, I understood more clearly that this is about such an ancient pain in me of being separated and alone, being left out. And it comes from my choice to separate from the oneness of all that was and move through the ring of fire into the density of materiality. And that initial emotional pain in me was, I felt so alone and abandoned. And then that leads to, I must have really screwed up, must have done something wrong, whatever. All those old feelings. So it took me back through all the triads where I suddenly felt not a part of or left out of or whatever. And I could go on and on. If you look at your life through triads, it's pretty interesting. And what are they? They're triangles, the building block of the pyramid, of the tetrahedron. So, sacred geometry wise, we are building new templates and grids. So I realized that, and then kind of worked that through with the friends. And by Thursday or Friday, a same event kind of a thing occurred in another triad with one of my sons, but the exact same feeling. And so I was much more quickly able to shift that into healing this thing that somehow wants to draw me back into feeling left out and feeling alone. And then I went and cleaned out. I wanted to sit out and kind of just be with all this. So I got a cushion out of our box on the deck. And when I opened the box, oh my God, it stunk. It stunk like something dead and rotting. Already getting the metaphor. So I picked out the cushions one by one and noticed that one of them had been gnawed on by a mouse. And when I got them all out, there was a big mouse nest in the lower left-hand corner of the box. Stench. And as I explored it a little bit, I saw, sure enough, but it was startling, a bloated dead mouse, but 5 very much alive, seemingly healthy baby mice sucking on this dead mama mouse. Just let that image sink in for a minute. Took my breath away. I mean, that was some metaphor I was being shown by these dear mice, and tears streaming down my face as a mother. Your children you're dead. There's nothing there for them. And they have to let go. They have to make it on their own, right? So it was a poignant metaphor about our old reality is not just dying, it's dead. And wherever we are still stuck sucking there for our answers, for our nourishment, for our beingness, it's going to be a rude awakening, and we are going to have to go out on our own and understand we are creators. We don't need to suck on that dead system any longer. So it was so powerful. I took a nap and woke up, and I felt like I got it. That was for me, but that was for the world. And so my friend Julie suggested, she said, you have to share that image on your reflections. And I thought, I really do. I wish I'd taken a picture, but I think you can imagine, what that was like. So, where I want to go with this is now we have coming up the two, what Metatron calls in his channel. What does he call this channel here? He calls it the Mega Eclipses of October on his Earthkeeper website. If you want to check it out, it's excellent. Excellent. I like it a lot. But I just, with all the configurations coming up, I realized that was shown to me for such a poignant purpose, not just for myself, but for the upcoming eclipses. And I think we all need to pay attention, because whatever is there that's so ancient and so old, a lot of it's Atlantean for a lot of us, is purging. It's like Metatron says, we're purging this up. It's coming up. And last week we talked about how we were done cleansing. Well, not quite. We'll be done cleansing perhaps when we get through the set of mega eclipses coming on the 8th and the 23rd of October. So thank you, Jupiter, for being present for all this, the planet of good fortune and expansion. It makes all of this crazy Uranus, Pluto, Mars stuff, it gives it value and purpose and gives it a validity is what I feel like. And so it's kind of like it's boiling up all around us. Eclipses are all about blanking out each other, so there's a void. Everything looks different. Everything feels different in that moment. There is no duality because it's become one. So it brings up lots of stuff, but it's also a powerful doorway to understanding, to clearing, to becoming, and so much can happen in that time. So I wrote here in my written part, that it's like stirring up our inner pots and our outer cauldrons. So the quote was, boil, boil, toil and trouble, vanish the old and dying, and breathe life into the hearts of the new reality as we catch the magic of transformation. So this is a time of great transformation. Have a great week. Take care of who you are and catch the magic. I'll be gone next week, so I'll see you in the middle of the eclipses next. We'll see what's going on then. Bye-bye.